See how it turns out. White is Bloom has submitted some videos to review, and I want to check it out. Okay. Okay, so we're starting in the middle of the key, I think. But that's fine. Let's see here. It's a little bit unclear, but that's fine. Music a bit lower? Yeah, I think I'm gonna turn the music completely off. Let's see. Just gonna have in-game sound, I think, from the recording. Okay, so I'm not gonna go over the first pull because that's kind of useless. Okay, let's see how he opens here. So this is Mist of Tyrannoside. He's playing single target build. This is 17. So it's definitely in the range where you want to start to play single target builds. I believe the first pull was Villager. Yeah, it was okay. It was this. No, it's not this pull. It's this pull right here. Or is it this pull? Oh no, it's just the smallies. Okay, it's just the smallies, and then we're doing the other pull afterwards. We're just gonna imagine that this pull is dead, and then we're gonna start the key from the next one. What I want to see here is basically start precasting Seed as he goes in. So a little bit, it could have been a little bit earlier, but it's not bad. We have a beam that misses everything. Puts up Siphon Life on everything. I would like to see Dark Soul come out a bit earlier here. Definitely put up Dark Soul earlier, because, like, right, yeah. You see that he's using his Dark Soul. He wants to use his Dark Soul together with his Dark Lair, but he doesn't get it off, and then he's forced to do another dot refresh. So with Dark Soul early, I'm gonna go back here and emphasize this because this is a very, very common mistake. If he would have Dark Souled here, or even Dark Soul right after the Seed, then he would have been able to get all of these globals off before the Seed hits. Like, he would have been done with his setup pretty much now. He would have been able to blink into melee. And then get basically taken out by his own Phantom Singularity Cleave. And random cleave from the Fire Mage. Very unlucky to get, like, double overgrowth in a row, though. But still not using any cooldowns here. I think you can still commit to cooldowns on this pull, even though the mage is using cooldowns as well. But I guess the idea was that cooldowns here would be overkill, and he's going to use on the next pull. The problem with using 3 minutes on the next pull is that it's not ready for boss. Yeah, let's yeah. Let's see here. So we get a Seed refresh. We drop some agonies, so that's not ideal. But otherwise, fine. Putting an agony on a target that's going to die in 5 seconds, also not the best idea. Shadow Fury, another Rapture, another Rapture. That's fine. Again, refreshing. Okay, now it leached up, so it ended up being okay. But refreshing Agony on very, very low HP targets is generally not a good idea unless you plan on getting a lot more Raptures in afterwards. Putting up the gateway. Let's see if they want to take it. They do. Poggy Woggy. So this has to be cooldowns. Oh no, Ninja Pull. Yeah, don't, when you take this gateway, don't walk forward. Agony, Agony. Okay, that's early DSM. Yeah, so the plan was basically to go in on this pull instead of the previous pull. I think the previous pull is better because let's see here. Does he put PS on this target? Oh, you didn't extend PS. Okay. That's another big mistake. You see here, press Dark Clear and then PS afterwards. And it's also PS on the target with all your dots on it. In a situation like this, you want to try to PS an off target. Because your main target with Unstable and Haunt and Shadow's Embrace and Siphon Life, you might not have Siphon Life on everything. Like you can see here, there's missing Siphon Life on a couple, but that's fine. That's a conscious choice to basically speed up the ramp. So that's not a problem. But the problem is that PS is on the target. And if it was extended, you can see here that it would have had like 10 seconds left on PS when it died. So you want to PS the thing that is PS a high HP target that's going to live the longest, even though you're focusing something else. You don't really care about the extra dot that it gives to the UA target, because the PS damage itself is going to be better. Unless the target lives, right? If this was a villager pack, then I would put the PS on the villager. But I do think that you should have used cooldowns on the villager pack and just like gone in on that one instead of saving for this. Don't need to see this. Okay, 2 target cleave. This is interesting. And that also means, by the way, when you do it that way, that also means that you have Dark Soul back for these two, which is going to be Dark Soul on this with Soul Rot and PS, and then you have Soul Rot and PS for Pride, and then you get Dark Soul, Soul Rot, PS, and Dark Lair back for the boss when you do it like this. I kind of like the Seed. I don't disagree with the Seed. Little love tap, very good, very, very good Shadow's Embrace refresh there. Very good. And then... getting into full Raptures here. Dropping Agony on off targets, not ideal, but it's not a huge loss, as it basically was committing to the tail end of a dot window on the other one. I like the weaknesses, but I think the weaknesses should be coming in. Like you don't want to do weaknesses like after this. You want basically I think you can, if you want to weakness this, it should either come in after you're done with your first burn or right here at the start. I also think that when you seeding on 2 targets like this is actually pretty good, because it makes you able to delay the corruption, so the corruption won't fall during the first burn window. But I think the optimal way to do it is to like agony seed, siphon life, haunt unstable, PS soul rot, because then you have it just lines up better that way. But it's not bad. I like it was a good hard commit right here. It's basically just hard committing to the dot window, which is not a bad idea. It's losing a little bit of dot uptime on the secondary target, but it was for a good reason. By the way, guys, if you have any questions in chat about anything that I'm talking about, I can stop the video and like go over it a bit. Okay, a bit, yeah. You don't want to, when prides are spawning like this, you don't want to be on 5 shards, because your setup takes some seconds and you're going to regen a shard in those seconds. So you would rather spend, like you did right here, spend down to 2 shards on the last mob, and then you have your UA and your Drain Soul to get to 2 more shards out of it before the pride spawns. Agony, Seed, Haunt, SLSL. No, I would do Agony, Seed, SLSL, Haunt, UA. PS, Soul Rot. But it's only if you have the shards for it. If you're sitting on like 2 shards or 1 shard, then I wouldn't do it. I would just go for like a double dot refresh before the PS window. I'm pushing 21 at the moment. It's really painful to play with AC and not SC, Outlaw, Mage, Lock, DPS comp. Why? I don't think SC, SL. I mean, I think SL is good in that comp. You just need to play around the mage cooldowns a bit. The rogue is never gonna out damage you, or should never out damage you, I think. When we take a single target build on these higher keys, are we mainly a prio target damage class? Yes. Very much a prio target damage class. You do decent AoE as well. So let's see here. Let's look at the full setup here. So Haunt, UA, Agony, Weakness, Corruption, Siphon Life. That combo should be Siphon Life Corruption, because Corruption has 1 second shorter duration than Siphon Life. 3 stacks Shadow's Embrace, PS, Soul Rot, and then go in. Yeah. Not bad. Very clean gameplay here. Everything that I'm seeing on this pull is good. And then sitting in drain for the executes. Very good, very good. You should put Agony up on the secondary target early for the shard regen before the Shadow's Embrace refresh, I think, on main targets. Good 2-target dot juggling. Wait. Oh, this is just a horrible timing. What are you doing? So you go on the boss when the guy is on like 50%, you pop all your cooldowns and you start shard dumping without Haunt on the main target and without the damage phase. I don't dislike early cooldowns. I think I want to start to do early cooldowns on this boss, where I do like an early extend, because the damage window is only 12 seconds. So you can get away with using everything on like 30, like when the tree's on 30%, you can do your full damage combo and just like hold on to the shards for the damage window to actually open, right? So I don't think it's necessarily that bad, but it was very early shard dump. And even with that, it's still really good damage, but you would have done a lot more with better timing. You're basically just like regenning shards here. Yeah. So I mean, but that's a very obvious thing that's easily fixed. Okay, this part is interesting because this is like only the 1 minute cooldown. So this is very interesting to see how he plays. Agony, weakness. I don't see the point of the weakness one mob. Like if you want to weakness one mob, then you're basically saying that you want to weakness all the mobs. I think it's an early detonate on the seed, which means that the uptime of corruption in the burst window here is a little low. You can see here, like if you go and agony, basically if you swap target and agony this target first, basically just let the seed tick out, you will be able to do agony on everything, and then you come back to your whatever you want to hit. Preferably in this pack, I think hitting the stalker is better, the little kitty cat. So then you put all your dots on that one target with only agony and corruption from the seed detonation on the other targets. PS or what, and go in. So you see here, Soul Rot is falling off right now, and you still have no corruption is falling off, and you still have Soul Rot. Sorrowat value, or it still had Sorrowat left. It's a little bit lazy on the Agony refreshes here afterwards, so you can see like the Seed of Corruption management is pretty decent after the first one, but the Agony management is very on the low end after the initial hits. So I would like to see more Agony refreshes after the first Rapture dump with Sorrowat. Yeah, I will only answer questions related to the run or like related to that stuff. Like I'm not gonna answer anything else during the review. Okay, we're going in. We have Soul Rot here, and the mage. Look at this. The mage does not have combustion. This is like the perfect moment to go in with like a big Dark Soul dump without the Dark Lair. Seed and then just Agony, early Dark Soul would be awesome here. And there it goes. That's really good. Because of the cooldowns, the lack of cooldowns on other targets here, you could definitely go for like a full Siphon Life. Like you would go like Siphon Life everything and then go. But here it's just Siphon Life on main target only, and not on the secondary targets. So you would be able to do a lot more here with Siphon Life on secondary targets as well. You do it after your big burn, but at that point it's kind of a little bit too late. You don't need to worry. There's no need to worry too much about Shadow's Embrace. Like all you need to do is like just refresh it on your main target with one Drain Soul tap in the middle of, like when it's like 3-4 seconds left, and then the Haunt is gonna get it to 3 stacks afterwards. You don't necessarily need on these like 4 or 5 target pulls. You don't necessarily want to focus on getting your Shadow's Embrace on your main target up to 3 stacks before you go. Like getting extra Siphon Lives out is more worth in terms of the globals. Okay. So this should be... Okay, I think... oh, no, that's... Okay. Again, it's a bit flustered here. It's a bit flustered. I don't disagree with holding cooldowns here, but it ends up being a non-extended Soul Rot after the fact. Because this is both Mage Combustion and Boomkin cooldowns. On a 17, these do not have the HP to stay alive. So this cooldown is actually pretty wasted. You could have held this for a later point. Like you could have used it on the Pride even. The Pride would have been a decent use of the Dark Lair with full cooldowns. In this scenario. Being able to carry the Pride Air would have been a much more valuable cooldown. Single target, like, there's not much to say about the single target, like, rotation, though. Like, that's a bad PS, because you're going into a pack with Pride when Mage has Combustion, but you can be able to rival the Mage Combustion with your Dark Soul if you had PS for the pack. Late PS here is not good. But overall, like, dot management and dot awareness on single target, not much to say. Yeah, Mage has Combustion, so you have to go fast here. Soul Rot. Boom. And then this Soul Rot is basically just gonna kill everything, I think. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. This was pretty good timing. Good movements. Good dot refreshes. This pack was pretty well played. It's all about cooldown timing with Affliction, I think. Like maintenance, like dot maintenance and cooldown timing and rapture timing and stuff like that. I think I would use 1 minute here when they come up in 4 seconds. But then again, okay, he uses combustion here, so then it's kind of wasted. The PS in this scenario was actually the correct play, because the PS is going to come back for the pull afterwards when the mage ended up using combustion for the late combustion late on this mini boss. So that was actually a very, very good play in hindsight. To use PS, dump with PS, and then hold the other button. So here you have Boomkin cooldowns and no combustion ready. Dark Lair is ready, and Dark Soul is also ready pretty soon. I think this should be a use everything pull. And you just use Dark Soul when it comes back. Yeah, so Dark Soul is going to be used here. Very good. But again, you see, you put your PS on your main target with all the dots, and it just falls over. You see, like the amount of damage that you do with the ruptures when you go in. You see here, your main target, every single rapture is just like 10% of its HP. Boom, boom, boom. It just dies. It just falls over. So putting PS on off target in these situations, very, very important. Then this is going to be combustion on Pride, so it shouldn't be too scary at all. You can probably use PS on cooldown if you want to. Let's see if it goes. Should have saved some shards for it though, if that was the plan. Could have used PS on cooldown here, decides not to, but it's not a big deal. It's gonna be this Pride into boss, I believe. Okay, used it there. Used it with the 1 minute. Okay. I think when it's this late into the Pride, it's totally fine to hold the 1 minute cooldowns for the Pride buff afterwards. Assuming that you don't need it because you'll die to the damage of the Pride. But it's a bit overkill, I think, to go in. I would have rather seen PS on cooldown right here, like save shards for this situation right here. PS on cooldown, go in with the PS, and then hold the Soul Rot for the boss afterwards. Okay. So you don't really have anything going into the next boss, which is fine. There we go. Full dots. Not much to do here. Preferably, you want to hold your PS for the Soul Rot and go in with a big one, but might not be doable. But yeah, like the boss is gonna go into its face. Okay, so this is the way to play this boss. You want to use your cooldowns on cooldown. You don't want to use Dark Lair in going into one of the intermission ads because it just lasts too long. You can use your 1 minutes, like you can use your full dots into PS into Soul Rot and then dump on the intermission ads, but extending them is a bit too much. You can also use Dark Soul in the same situation. Dark Soul is even better because then you reduce the duration of the PS and you make everything just go faster. The mistake that is being done here is sitting on high shards going into the intermission. You want to sit on low shards. You basically just want to dump shards going into the 70%, 40%, and 10% intermission. What am I saying? Spend shards before going into intermissions, and then you spend the time that it takes for you to figure out which one you're going on, just dotting all of them with agony. Or like, obviously you stop once you know which one it is, but then you already have an agony, most likely on the correct target, which means that you're one global ahead. You're on low shards, which means that you're not shard capping while refreshing dots, and you have increased shard regen because you have like 3, 4, 5 agonies now. So it's a bit late on the shard dump, sitting on 3 shards going into this situation right here. The agony, it's good. It's good to put agony up on everything, and then you realize which one it is. I don't think it's a little bit too much focus on the like double agony refresh on everything. I think that's a mistake, and it was also a full dot refresh on the wrong target. That's also a mistake. But it's not that big of a deal. But you can see here that this UA plus Drain Soul is gonna overcap a shard in addition to overcapping a shard earlier. So being aggressive with the shard usage going into the phase is gonna end up giving you more raptures total throughout the fight. After this, you have all your cooldowns ready. I want to see PS. I want to see cooldowns being used right now. Cooldowns right now would be sick. No Dark Soul. That's fine. I think Dark Soul should be used here, but it's not like a massive problem. Again, in this situation, just spend shards as they come in, going into the 40% one. Here it's being done much better. Just full, go to 0, refresh. You want to refresh, basically, think of it this way. The last thing that you do on the boss before it goes immune is Agony. Because that Agony is going to last long enough to where you don't need to refresh Agony on the boss, and it's still going to be ticking when you're done with the phase, assuming that you don't full end the phase and never find where to go. And here you're wasting, it's a bit of wasted globals, refreshing dots that don't do any damage on the boss. You just find the correct target and go on that one with the Agony on the other targets. Again, this is going to be one overcapped shard. That was a shard gained right there, so that's an overcapped shard because not aggressive enough shard usage going into the face. Again. Yes, Soul Rot. All cooldowns, Starclear. I like this. I like this a lot, actually. Very strong. Oh my god, how did you not get hit by that? Yeah, I like that a lot. And then Agony. Yeah, instantly after that Agony, you just go on the ads. So Agony on the boss as it goes immune, then Agony, 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 Agony. Oh, it's this one. Corruption, Siphon Life, Haunt, Unstable. Maybe Shadow's Embrace refresh, depending on how high HP it is. Depending on the key level, and then go in. That was much better. Missed the shard snipe with Drain Soul, only got 1 shard from UA. Not a big deal, but the last one was much better than the previous 2. Skip ahead a bit here. This should be late detonate seed with Agony, 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 SL, SL, SL. Unstable Haunt. I think this is definitely, I would definitely use PS and Soul Rot in this situation. Like the 3 target cleave is really where it what it's all about. So I would not hold here in this situation, I think. I also think that on 3 targets, the full Shadow's Embrace is a bait. You just tag it with the Drain Soul as the Shadow's Embrace is ending right at the end of your shard dump. It's better. Let's see here. Let's see when on the timer you would have used PS and Soul Rot. So we go here, assuming that you here. So this would have been PS and Soul Rot on 11:30, right? So let's go ahead to it would come back up in 12 seconds, which would be completely fine. Even if you want to use cooldowns on this, like maybe it wouldn't be like optimal for padding on all the smallies, but I mean, that's not really useful damage anyway. So it would have been ready here. You could have done it exactly the same, except like a little bit later. By using it by using PS and Soroth on the previous pull. You need subtitles? Am I talking too fast? I don't even have subtitles on my YouTube videos. You're putting Shadow's Embrace on multiple targets only with Lust and Dark Soul. I don't I think that's the only scenario where you have enough haste to do it. Okay, so this is 1 minute cooldowns only. Ready? No, it's actually Dark Lair as well. I think this is a really good pack to do Dark Lair. Like 3-4 targets is really good to do Dark Lair extensions on. So that would be actually sick to see here. PS into Soroth into Dark Lair with Siphon Life on everything here would have been really, really good. Yeah, doesn't even go for the 1 minute. You don't like it. Doesn't even go for the 1 minute cooldowns here, and I think that's a pretty big blunder. It's basically just like keeping main dots up only and not going for first. No PS, no Soul Rot, and you're holding it for over a minute. You would have been able to use it on like 9:20 into the dungeon, and then on 8:20. Or 8:30 the Pride spawns. So your 1 minute cooldowns would be on 10-second cooldown when the Pride spawns. So that it would be back up for when you want to use it here. I think using full CDs on Pride is not great unless you really need it to live. I think using 1 minute should be enough, and then you can hold your Dark Soul and Dark Lair for other stuff. Like if it's a higher key and it's like, okay, you need to carry this Pride because we don't have combustion, we don't have anything, and we don't want to, like, it's a high key and we will die if you don't use all cooldowns. Then you can use all cooldowns on Pride, but other than that, I wouldn't recommend using anything but the 1 minute cooldowns on the Pride. PS here, I like that. And then Seed. Nice. Anti-Agony Refresh, maybe? Yeah, a little bit more aggressive Agony Refresh on the high HP targets that are remaining would be nice. Because they're dropping instead of being refreshed, which is a bit of a damage loss. Oh, oh, oh. Oh. Close one. But I like the aggressive Rapture dumps. Like, as long as you have dots rolling, it doesn't really matter if Corruption falls off afterwards, as long as you, like, get maximum Rapture value. Okay, so this is... wait. Okay, that's just... wait. Let's see if you see this one. I don't think Phantom Singularity efficiency has been 100% in this dungeon. Let's put it that way. I think we could have done more damage with Phantom Singularity. Putting Haunt on the non-UA targets is generally not the play. If you have communication, you can also Devour Magic that thing. It's a magic thing if they get the shield up, so you can Devour Magic one of them. But I do this sometimes, but I think it's a mistake. To put Haunt on your non-UA target. You want to stack those damage amps together, and you would rather have someone else hit something else. Like, you say, like, okay, I have a lot of damage on this target if you're on voice, and then the other people can hit something else. On this Pride, I would probably only use... I would probably only use PS. I think I would use PS, though. I think I would use PS, but hold Soul Rot, because it's going straight into boss, and I want everything ready for that. So the PS could have been used here. I think it's okay to hold the Soul Rot on this level. If it's a higher level, then I think I would use Soul Rot as well. It's not much to say about, like, the single target gameplay here is, like, it's clean. Like, there's no dots being missed or anything like that. It's just the cooldown management and a bit of the multi-target dotting that needs improvement on. Everything else is pretty much fine. Again, just to emphasize one more time, you want to go into Drain execute 20% on the prides with 0 or 1 shards, and then you just sit in Drain so that you regen during that like 20 to 0, so you don't run into this situation right here where you're sitting in Drain. You're probably gonna cap a shard here if you don't use a Rapture. So use a Rapture, that's good, but you're exiting the Pride on 5 shards, which means that you're gonna regen a shard, which is overcap, in the setup, in your setup here, because it's Haunt UA, Agony, Siphon Life, Corruption, PS Dark Soul, Soul Rot, Dark Clear, and then you want to get to 3 stacks of Shadowlands Embrace, and then you want to start casting Raptures. So that's at least 1 shard that is being overcapped here that could have been used on a Pride preemptively. Let's see here. This is no synergy proc. Yeah. I think it's good. In this situation, you're a bit trigger happy. This is something that I do a lot, and I think it's very worth. You should obviously not shard cap, but you can sit on your shards. Your timer is basically when this Soul Rot ends. When this Soul Rot ends, you want to be on 0 shards. But you don't need to rush the shard usage before then. You can actually just kind of hover around 4 to 5 shards and spend shards as they come in. Like you get to 5, you spend a shard. And then you get to 5, you spend a shard. Fishing for that synergy proc to come in that gives you 10% more damage. Because that is pretty huge. So basically, your timer is like, you need to be on 0 shards when Soul Rot hits 0, right? That's your timer. So you can fish for synergy procs like that. So if you, let's see when you get the synergy proc. Okay, you actually get the first synergy proc exactly as it ends. So that's unlucky, but it's more like a general gameplay. Obviously, if you're sitting on like 5 shards and Soul Rot hits like 8 seconds, then you kind of just have to go, okay, I have to go, right? You have to start dumping at some point. But you can delay it by quite a bit and still be very efficient. Very good though. Not bad. Wait, you see that? You just turned black. The hell? Good Mortal Coil. Good Mortal Coil. Defensive usage. Helping out. Okay. Saving shards now. Hopefully saving shards. It is possible on higher keys. I would recommend putting like a few agonies and a seed out on the larvae, because it actually takes quite a bit to kill them. On lower keys, usually just random cleave from other people are able to take it down. But that's something to keep in mind, that the larva things that come in on this boss actually need to die. Last dump. Very nice. Rapture, Rapture, Rapture. Life and Life. Very good.